Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the latest edition of the Agile PMP. CJ Mills here with your daily stand-up. Today is Thursday, so we're not quite getting into the Friday follow-up, but I wanted to talk about what project managers do in regular terms. So yesterday we had a discussion about change, so I'm changing it up. And we're going to talk about what project managers do in regular terms. I was at the gym today. I was at the gym and got done hitting the bag, doing some mitt work, and one of my training mates, Mo asked me, said, "Man, what do you do?" He said, "I've been watching your videos," and he said, I'm listening and I don't quite understand, what do project managers do? And I told him, I said, well, ultimately, I talk to everybody. Project managers spend about 90% of their time talking to people. So I told him, in basic terms, at a particular company I was at, all I was really doing was working with everybody, let's say in legal or HR, IT, or some other, vertical or business unit, some silo, because all the groups, they don't talk to each other. Nobody talks to each other. And so I get people to get along. I get people to do things that they don't really want to do, but somehow I sort of convince them by working with them, by talking to them, by sort of, whatever you want to call it, using empathy, using just a skill set of persuasion, just whatever, just being a nice guy sometimes. That's all it takes. But ultimately, what project managers really do is people have this sort of dynamic motion picture in their head about what they want to accomplish. Say, it would be great. Like, we've been talking about writing a book, and people say, yeah, it'd be great if I could just, if I could just write a book, and all I had to do was tell my story, and somebody else would write it for me, and somebody will publish it, and somebody would worry about the distribution, and I don't have to worry about anything, and if we could have a nice cover, and what if it looked like this, and maybe it was an ebook too, and maybe we could sell it on Amazon, maybe we could develop a mini series on TV or a movie series, and people just keep going on and on and on and on and on. And I can give you so many examples. I mean, it's in life. It's sort of like, let's say you want to restore a car, and you buy an older car, and at first you're just gonna maybe repaint it, and but then you change out the axle, then you change out the drivetrain, you change out the transmission, maybe you put in a brand new engine, maybe you start messing around with the interior, maybe you do all kinds of things. You add AC to a car that didn't have it. You start upgrading the stereo. Start doing all this stuff. Pimp my ride, basically. You start doing all these extra things, and so people have like these ideas of in their head of what it is that they really want to accomplish. And so now let's talk about sort of the skill set in it. And what it is like, if you can take somebody's motion picture, what's in their head, and make it into a static picture on the wall. We take this sort of fluid, 360-degree living, breathing idea that you have, and we make it into just a picture on the wall. And then when we talk about scope, literally like the scope on a gun, I know it's controversial, but like the scope on a gun, how much time you have, how much resources you have, that determines how big or how small that circle is to cover either everything in that picture or maybe a speck, maybe half the picture, who knows. But we get people to take their fluid motion picture out of their head, make it into a dynamic picture on the wall, and figure out how much of it they can truly accomplish given the amount of time and amount of resources that they have. That's what we do in a nutshell. That's it. It's that simple. It really is. So next time you have a big idea, just get it down on paper. That's really all you guys have to do. All right? Everything is created twice in this world. It's created once in your mind, and then when you get it down on paper. So while it's still in your mind, it's welcome to change at any moment. You can start to add things. Your imagination will run wild. So that's a good thing sometimes. But it's not until you get it down on paper that it's actually going to be real. So that's it for today. That's what project managers do. We make things real. We help deliver results. And we do it by talking to everybody and getting people to communicate and brokering conversations and, making deals with people to do things that they probably should do anyways, but you have to make a deal with them, and you have to make them happy, and you have to massage their egos, and you have to do a whole bunch of things to ultimately do something that was going to benefit everybody in the first place. So that's project management. Tonight is episode 12 of the Agile PMP. I'm glad you guys are here with me. Please share this video. And as always, create solutions, adapt processes, think strategically. I'm out.